There are 27 million people living in bondage today.
And this is a crime that exists right around us, right here and right now.
It's an evil every time it happens.
It's a way that anyone can make a profit over another human being. It's about owning another person and trying to dominate them spiritually and emotionally.
I'm Stacy Lundgren, and I was a victim of sex trafficking.
At the age of 14, Stacy Lundgren was lured into a relationship over the internet by a 22-year-old man who saw her as easy prey.
I was somebody who didn't have a father figure around, someone who was teased, someone who was just kind of looking for attention.
Stacy's vulnerabilities were the tools the man used to manipulate her into a sexual relationship with him, and then with others for money. Stacy didn't know she had become a commodity, part of a sex trade operation comprised of 7,000 other people. What she did know was that she felt she couldn't leave.
I was just not strong enough. I was just so far deep in my hole that I needed help to get out of that, and there was nobody knew about it.
For Stacy, the bondage was psychological. For young women in Thailand, the prison is poverty.
They do much of the labor. They plant the rice, they harvest the rice, they thrash the rice, they keep the house, they keep the children, and also do the work that supports their parents.
Support that extends to housing and feeding their families and paying off all family debts. This tremendous financial burden, coupled with their histories of abuse, their lack of education and job skills, drives thousands of young women into prostitution and, in some cases, sexual slavery.
There are certain threads that tie victims, whether it's domestic or international, and it's those who are vulnerable, often because of poverty or because of their immigration status, whether they're legal or not, and finally because they do not have access to the justice system.
David Batstone is a professor at the University of San Francisco. He is also co-founder and president of the Not For Sale campaign, an organization working with Christians around the world to abolish human trafficking in all forms, even here at home.
In Northern California, where agriculture is quite strong, that there are a number of families that are held in bondage to work in the fruit and vegetable fields.
From restaurant workers to laborers to nannies right next door, the number of people coerced or forced to work for free is on the rise.
They take away their documents, they threaten them with violence, they do everything possible to break down their victims emotionally and spiritually.
But Batstone and others agree. The Christian community has a unique and powerful role to play in combating this crime.
Victims of trafficking have had their community stripped away from them. They've had their ability to trust stripped away from them. And what better place for us as Christians to step in and be that community that can instill that sense of hope and instill that trust.
Which is what Abundant Life missionary Bonita Thompson has been doing since 2006, when she launched the Home of New Beginnings for young women in Bangkok, Thailand. ALCF supports the ministry by supplying funding, goods, and volunteers.
We focus on education, on family, on counseling, on life skills. We want to restore them to a place where they can be a contributing member of society.
They are also offered an opportunity to learn about Jesus. What started as a single residence recently expanded to 2, doubling the number of women Thompson can bring in off the streets.
We truly want to provide for these girls a place of safety, a place that's clean, and a place where they are honored, where they are loved unconditionally.
I used to spend my life hoping each day will end. I have no hope. I felt like unloved. No one cares. But today, when I live at Home of New Beginning, I have a better life. Most of all, I found Jesus. God is the one who fulfilled my life. He is the one that I can lean on. I can cry on His shoulder. For me, this house, I can call it home. Because if I don't have my mom and my father, if I don't have anybody, but I have this house, I love this place.
9 girls live at the Home of New Beginnings. 4 are enrolled in college, 3 are in Bible school, all of them have given their lives to Christ.
To be spiritually free, to be liberated not only from your captivity and your bondage, but to be told that your story goes on, that there's more chapters to be written. That is an incredibly freeing aspect of the gospel. We need to have gatherings where we are equipped, where we're told that as members of the body, that we can add to someone else's freedom.
Abundant Life's global ministry team will host such a gathering on May 15th and 16th. It's the Freedom Summit. Abundant Life member Steve Stenstrom is one of the organizers.
The global ministry team has been doing incredible work in this area for years and years by partnering with numerous organizations that care about recognizing this injustice. At the Freedom Summit, we're going to ask the question, what does it really mean to love my neighbor?
As a lawyer, how I can practice justice. As an entrepreneur, how I can create economic alternatives for people who feel trapped. As a nurse, how I can give care to people who are kept outside the healthcare system. So really, a Freedom Summit is about how I find my calling in the mission field that God's placed me in, given my skills, given my passion. Not whether or not I'm called, but how I'm called.
And there are lives at stake, like Stacy's.
Christians in my life, they have shown that they care. God didn't intend any of this to happen. I know that in my heart, and He saved my life. So now I live my life for Him.
Stacy says she's no longer a victim of human trafficking. She's someone entirely new.
I am Stacy Lundgren. I am 23 years old, and I'm a follower of Christ.
If you'd like to join ALCF's global ministry team to combat human trafficking here and abroad, visit their booth in the lobby after service today. You can also register there or online for the upcoming Freedom Summit.